So guys, today we're going to be doing a video on Elden Ring using the Steam Deck. We're going to be running the game at native resolution of 800p, and we're going to be starting it off on the low preset as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the settings. And as always, if you like what you see, a sub to the channel will be highly appreciated. Alright, let's get going. 800p low settings with Elden Ring. The low preset is kind of buggy. The shadows in the trees kind of dance a little bit. They come in and then out of the view immediately, so it kind of ruins the experience and the look of the game. But the quality of the models, like your character and the horse and the actual environment, looks very nice. We're sitting in the mid 30s. It's kind of low to be honest. I was expecting us to be running the 40s and 50s, I guess, but we are in the mid 30s to 40s, I guess, low 40s. Not bad. Now there's one thing I want to actually test out, and that's fighting a dragon. There's this one dragon that I've saved up. I still haven't beat it. I beat the entire game, but I haven't beat this dragon because it always causes a stutter. Even after all the updates on any of the pieces that I've tested, the flame and the effects of the dragon causes stutters here and there. Alright, I forgot where we are, but we are next to a church. And outside of this church, a glintstone dragon is guarding it. And from the last time I played this area, I think I was using a 3060 Ti, and that still had issues playing this area without stuttering. So let's actually see how this runs. Now I'm actually looking through my camera screen, so trying to dodge and all that will be kind of difficult since there's a delay, but I'll try my best. Ooh, actually getting hit there. That froze up the game a little bit, but fighting him actually doesn't feel that bad so far. He hasn't breathed fire yet, and that's the main thing that causes the lag spikes, but hopefully we can see that soon. Now here we go. He's breathing fire. Honestly, feels pretty great. Oh, he despawned. Yeah, it didn't lag at all. I think the main ability is when he flies over you and breathes fire there, but that was still decent amount and it didn't lag at all. It only lagged when we actually got hit when we were on the horse. Alright, medium preset. Looking real good. Now, there's actually a pretty decent jump in terms of visual quality going from low to medium settings. And as you can see, as we look at the trees, the shadow problem is now gone. The shadows aren't flickering and it looks very good. The game actually looks very sharp as well, since we are playing at native resolution. FPS is getting a few dips into the high 20s, but honestly you won't be able to feel that if you have the FPS counter off. And FPS is kind of all over the place, to be honest. The low 30s to the mid 30s, maybe in the high 30s as well here and there. So it runs very similar to low preset, surprisingly, because we did have some dips into the low 30s as well at low preset. But yeah, if I was actually playing myself, I would probably play on medium settings. The small dips into the high 20s I couldn't really feel, and it wouldn't bother me anyway. And the actual overall feel in the game is very nice and very fluid, and you don't really feel any stuttering or any jumpiness at all to the actual game. You might get some micro stutters here and there, but it happens very rarely. And the game looks nice and plays well. Alright, let's go ahead and try out high settings. This might be kind of tough to run. Alright, let's continue the benchmark with the high preset now. And we're on the edge of 30 FPS, so I'm sure we're going to fall into the 20s very easily with this preset. And looking at our temps, I'm using the old fan curve, by the way, just to keep it as cool as possible. And we're still getting kind of high up there with the CPU temp, sitting at like 84 to 88. And we're also drawing 26 watts as well from the battery, so you're getting like an hour and a half. It's kind of crazy how every preset so far is performing very similar to each other, except for the low end. As we go up in presets, our low end is also dropping, so high preset we're easily falling into the mid 20s, while this wasn't the case with medium and low settings. But our top end is very similar, 30s, mid 30s, low 30s. But yeah, the game is much more stuttery at high preset, so if you want to play it high, I would actually tune some of the settings down in the preset to medium, some of the more intensive ones. But yeah, the game looks fantastic. It runs decently well as well still in this preset, but it's not as smooth as it once was. Alright, playing at max settings now. This is This is a bit unrealistic as you would expect for the Steam Deck. This is not an 800p, have everything at max settings kind of PC. But we're gonna try it anyway. As we can see, we can't hold 30 anymore. We are in the high 30, we are in the high 20s, but the game feels much more sluggish and doesn't feel as good. I guess it's still playable if you want to play at max settings. As you can see in the frame time graph, it's very jumpy. I will try to optimize the settings as well for our next part of the video. I'll go through the settings. I will probably be playing the game at low to medium settings to optimize it more, and then cap the FPS to 30 because I don't think 40. Because I don't think we can hold a steady 40 at all with this game, sadly. Alright, I went ahead and actually optimized the settings, and basically all I did was put us on the low preset since the game does look very good at low on this kind of screen. And I increased the shadow quality to medium instead of low because the low shadow quality has the pop-in issue, and you know, the shadow on the trees pops in and pops out and it kind of ruins the immersion. So I increased that to medium, and hopefully that fixes the issue because the game ran super well on low settings. And we have a capped FPS, so our power draw should be down as well. We're pulling like 26 watts, which gives us around an hour, around 20 minutes on battery. And as we can see, the power draw is definitely dropped down to 17 watts, 16 to 17 watts. So that gives us a little bit of extra playtime as well in portable mode. But as we can see, the trees don't have the shadow pop-in issue anymore. It actually looks just like the medium preset, and we get the benefits of it running well and cooler as well, and no immersion breaking shadow issue. That's great. Looking at our temps, we dropped from like 86 to 88 on our CPU to pretty much the mid 70s. That's very nice. And looking at the frame time graph, it's basically a flat line. It's super smooth. I don't feel any stuttering at all. And now you can go ahead and compare this to the extreme preset or the max preset where it was jumping heaps up and down. We're playing at 540p now. FSR is enabled, as you can see on the overlay. And the game definitely does look pretty decent, but everything looks over sharpened. You can obviously go ahead and change this in the Steam setting on the right side, but FPS is very similar, so I don't think you need FSR to run this game at all. Just leave it at native. Yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. If you did, give it a like, and a sub to the channel, we highly appreciate it. See you next time.